It is 8:15. Welcome back. 10 years ago, Congressman John Lewis famously said access to the internet is the civil rights issue of the 21st century. Joining us to talk about that issue here in Connecticut, we're happy to have Dawn Valle from the State Library joining us. Hello, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
Thanks so much for being with us. And we've been talking about the digital divide and closing that gap, which is so critical for communities all across the state. But there are specifically events happening starting this weekend. They're happening all over the state to let people know how they can do that, what resources are available.
Absolutely. So the State Library has a Connecticut Libraries and Partners for Digital Equity Coalition, which has been in force for about a year now. We bring together libraries, state agencies, community organizations to talk about bringing digital equity into communities that are lacking broadband, that are lacking devices. And so many of our partner libraries are going to be participating in events this weekend to bring that information to these communities about the need for digital equity to bridge that digital divide, something that libraries have been doing for decades. But the pandemic really made it more relevant as children were doing school from home, people were working from home. And what's really important to know is that a third of African American households do not have wireline broadband. 31% of African American households do not have working computers. So that divide is about social equity. It's about being able to connect to commerce, being able to go to work, being able to go to school.
Yeah, being able to get all the educational resources that they need. Now, part of Juneteenth celebrations that are happening this weekend, there's a big one happening in New Haven, right?
Absolutely, yes. So New Haven, actually their Juneteenth celebrations start this evening, and it's going through the entire weekend. There's going to be a big event on the green, on New Haven on the Green, and it's just an opportunity for libraries to get out there and connect with their communities, to talk to them about all of these resources that are available.
There are 4 of these special locations that are happening all over the state, right?
Absolutely.
There's sort of these new satellite offices.
Well, we have the State Library using ARPA grants that we got from the Institute of Museums and Library Services. We use these grants to launch 4 digital Navigator projects: Hamden, East Hartford, Stamford, and New Haven. And in these projects, what they're doing is they're getting into the communities. They're training digital navigators to get into the communities to talk about resources, to get them a free device. To
right,
show
they
them
may not realize that the resources are out there. You can get devices to use. You can find ways to get service, to get Wi-Fi connected in your home to help you, to get you back on. Yeah.
And another key part of that is digital life skills, applying for a job online.
So critical.
Yeah, we have one wonderful story from Hamden where a 100-year-old veteran who had never used a computer before participated in their digital Navigator project, and he was able to connect with his great-grandchildren, telling them stories.
Oh,
so
wow, that's great.
It's about equity, it's about connection, it's about, particularly during the pandemic, 31% of older adults 65 years or older do not have devices or broadband. So during the pandemic, they were isolated. They were not able to go into the senior center. They were not able to go into the library.
Right.
And
we've heard how that has such a negative effect.
It has a negative effect. There's correlation between the lack of internet connectivity during the pandemic, particularly in African American households, where they were not able to get information about health, the vaccinations, and it really, there's a correlation between that and deaths, which is, it's horrifying.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here. I'm happy to hear about all the events that are happening to let people know that there are classes, they can do this, they can get this in their homes. And what's your website so we can get everybody connected?
So it's the best thing to go to is go to the State Library website, and we can connect to our, it's a very long Google website, so they can connect with us at the State Library. They can go to the statelibrary.org, ConnecticutStateLibrary.org, and then we can connect them with the direct Connecticut Partners for Libraries and Digital Equity Coalition.
And